Okay, here it goes. This is my first attempt at videoing myself reading you guys the story. So, first of all, I wanted to say hello to everybody and tell you how much I miss you. I cannot even tell you how much it is. Your smiling faces and imagining seeing you guys again soon is what's getting me through this really hard time. So what I plan to do is every day I'm going to read you guys a chapter of a story, just like we would do in the classroom. And since we just finished our series of unfortunate events, I am now going to read you a new story. And I've decided to read one from our book that we've had in the classroom. It's a Roald Dahl anthology, but I'm actually not going to read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm going to read one of my favorites, which is called James and the Giant Peach. And so I'm going to go to my James and the Giant Peach book. In this book, even though it's a chapter book, it does have some pictures, so I'll show you. So this is the beginning of the story of James and the Giant Peach. Chapter 1. Until he was 4 years old, James Henry Trotter had a happy life. He lived peacefully with his mother and father in a beautiful house beside the sea. There were always plenty of other children for him to play with, and there was a sandy beach for him to run about on, and the ocean to paddle in. It was the perfect life for a small boy. Then, one day, James's mother and father went to London to do some shopping, and a terrible thing happened. Both of them suddenly got eaten up, in full daylight, mind you, on a crowded street, by an enormous angry rhinoceros which had escaped from the London Zoo. Now this, as you can well imagine, was a rather nasty experience for two such gentle parents. But in the long run, it was far nastier for James than it was for them. Their troubles were over in a jiffy. They were dead and gone in 35 seconds flat. Poor James, on the other hand, was still very much alive, and all at once he found himself alone and frightened in a vast, unfriendly world. The lovely house by the seaside had to be sold immediately, and the little boy, carrying nothing but a small suitcase containing a pair of pajamas and a toothbrush, was sent away to live with his two aunts. And we have a little picture there of James. I'm reading. Sorry, my child. Their names were Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker, and I'm sorry to say that they were both really horrible people. I'm going to stop there and ask if you guys can make any connections to another story that we just finished about a pretty horrible person, or some other children who might have become orphans very suddenly. They were selfish and lazy and cruel, and right from the beginning, they started beating poor James for almost no reason at all. They never called him by his real name, but always referred to him as, "You disgusting little beast," or "You filthy little nuisance," or "You miserable creature." And they certainly never gave him any toys to play with or any picture books to look at. His room was as bare as a prison cell. Another reference I wonder if anyone can make a connection to. They lived on Sponge, Aunt Spiker, and now James as well, in a strange ramshackle house at the top of a high hill in the south of England. The hill was so high that from almost anywhere in the garden, James could look down and see for miles and miles across a marvelous landscape of woods and fields. And on a very clear day, if he looked in the right direction, he could see a tiny gray dot far away on the horizon, which was the house that he used to live in with his beloved mother and father. And just beyond that, he could see the ocean itself, a long, thin streak of blackish blue, like a line of ink beneath the rim of the sky. But James was never allowed to go down the hill. Neither Aunt Sponge nor Aunt Spiker could ever be bothered to take him out herself, not even for a small walk or a picnic, and he certainly wasn't permitted to go alone. "That nasty little beast will only get into mischief if he goes out of the garden," Aunt Spiker had said, and terrible punishments were promised him, such as being locked up in the cellar with rats for a week, even if he so much as dared to climb over the fence. The garden, which covered the whole top of the hill, was large and desolate. Desolate means lonely and sort of broken down. There's not a lot to look at. And the only tree in the entire place, apart from a clump of old dirty laurel bushes at the far end, was an ancient peach tree that never gave any peaches. There was no swing, no seesaw, no sand pit, and no other children were ever invited to come up the hill to play with poor James. Poor James sounds like a very sad little boy, doesn't he? I'm wondering if you can think about why I picked this book after the last book that we read. There wasn't so much as a dog or a cat around to keep him company. And as time went on, he became sadder and more lonely, and he used to spend hours every day standing at the bottom of the garden, gazing wistfully at the lovely but forgotten world of woods and fields and ocean that was spread below him like a magic carpet. And that is the end of chapter 1. So it was a short chapter, but it introduced us to our main character, who we're going to learn a lot more about as the story goes on. So I wonder, even though there were pictures in this book, if you can visualize in your head what James looks like. Think about that garden that it describes, the setting that we talk so much about. It used that word desolate, where the only tree in the garden was a large peach tree that didn't give any peaches for many years. There was no swing, nothing fun for James to play with. So I wonder if any of you could draw a picture of what you think the setting would look like in James's garden. And if you could take a picture of that and you could email it to me, or shortly I will be sending out a link to your parents. We're going to set up something called Google Classroom, where we will be able to share information and share comments and pictures and things that we're doing, and hopefully even send a little share calendar out for all of you, and sort of do virtual shares so that you guys can videotape yourself sharing with the class, and then we could post it up there for everyone to see. So just know that I have lots of things in the works and in mind for ways to keep us all connected. And as important as learning is right now, one thing that's equally, if not more important, is just making sure everybody is happy and healthy and okay. And to know that even though I might not be there with you right now, I'm thinking of you every single day, and I miss you so much. And hopefully we will all be together very, very soon. And remember, your parents have my phone number. You can call me, you can FaceTime me, you can send me a video of yourself singing or dancing. I love to know what you're still up to. We've had a few little Zoom calls where some of my friends have called me, and that has brought the biggest smile to my face during a time that's hard for all of us. So just know I love to hear from all of you, and I miss you to the moon and back. And stay strong. I love you all. Stay smiling. Be good to your parents. Do what they say. Do something every day to help. My 3 rules. Every single day you need to do 3 things. You need to do something to learn. You need to do something to have fun. And you need to do something to help someone. So if you think about those things too, and you want to share what you do with me, I would love to hear it. So have a great night, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Chapter 2 coming tomorrow. Mwah! Bye-bye.